everyone. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Leah Apocrypha, and it's a pleasure to meet you. I hope that you'll consider joining this little soul family that we have going on here if you are new. If you are returning, welcome back, soul family. I'm always so fucking grateful to have you guys returning. As always, all disclaimers, information, and decks that are used are in the description box down below. If you are new, please have a look at least at the disclaimers so you can get an idea of how a tarot reading works. And thank you all so very much for being here. So today I wanted to start off with an oracle deck. This one is still pretty new. It's Dragon Wisdom. So I want to see what message comes through from this deck first. Let's see if there's any dragon spirit that has a specific message for us today. I hope that everything is going well. I hope despite everything going on, I wish you all the best always. Expression. I'm just curious what these last three cards were. Expression, Earth Chalice, and Universe. So right off the bat, just kind of getting a feeling for what's talking about here. I feel like there's this call to delve deeper into your spirituality and to delve deeper into who you are and why you do things the way you do. To express yourself in whatever way that needs to be expressed. And with this Earth Chalice here, it's like telling me that there's a need for grounding, even though there's a need to explore and expand spiritually and within yourself. There's a need to ground and explore nature and what is around you. So let's see if we can get a specific card to come out. This wisdom. Know that you have the wisdom within you to solve whatever issues it is that you may be facing at this moment. Let's see. There's a lot more cards, Air Chalice, that came out than what I anticipated. But this is very interesting. So I want to talk about all of this. Okay, this card, the Shadows card, actually I think is quickly becoming one of my favorite card in the deck. I pulled this card out specifically and I was, kind of looking at it yesterday and kind of getting a vibe for this card. And something told me to put it back in the pile today for this reading. And here it comes out. So I love these colors here. But there's definitely a sense of shadow work that needs to be done. Whenever I see this Dormant Aspects, this is still a new deck, so I did get this card last time, and so I did read from the book what it is about. And this card is speaking about light aspects and light attributes. But because it is Dormant Aspects and the feel of the card it does give me more of a sense of shadow work and inner kind of aspects of oneself. Now, here with the scars and the love cards, I can see that there's a lot that needs to be healed and released from. And there's a lot of love in your heart, even if you're feeling very jaded or very like protecting your own energy. It's understandable, especially if you've gone through a lot of, shadows. You've had to deal with people's shadows, lies, deceit, um, manipulation, whatever the case may be. So let's start here with the dormant aspects, and I will read these of the book, and then I will pull some cards. So let's see. Dormant aspects. We all have important light-filled aspects of ourselves that lie dormant within us. Now is the time to awaken one of these. If you draw this card, the Violet Dragon wishes to help you awaken this particular part of you. So try to sense deep in your heart which aspects wants to awaken. Close your eyes and sense the part of you that stirs your inner financial advisor, perhaps who wishes to bring you to a place of abundance. Your inner healer, your inner artist, your inner child. Take a moment to sense what it is in your heart. When you have realized what is there, do the following exercise. Now, this is an exercise that it recommends that you do. Now, I'm not going to read the exercise, but so yeah, what this card is asking for us to do is to go within ourselves and figure out what aspects of ourselves are trying to come through. What aspects of ourselves is it that wants to be focused on, that wants a shot at, sharing its light with the world. So if you've been feeling really drawn to art, you've been feeling really drawn to express yourself in a certain way, I would definitely say this card is telling you to go within and to figure out what it is within you that needs to be expressed. Last time I got this card, I did mention how this dragon seems kind of sad, like it's picking up on her emotions, and like if she's feeling kind of down, and this dragon, you can kind of see its face. It's kind of like looking down at her in a sad way. It doesn't want her to feel down, doesn't want her to feel alone, but it's there protecting her and letting her know that everything's going to be okay. So I do have this sense that your inner self is trying to come out. There's something within yourself that lies in the shadows, that lies in wait for a chance for you to allow yourself to integrate this shadow or whatever it is, whatever aspect of you that you feel needs to be called upon. With the scars card here, again, what I'm getting is like you have been through it. You have experienced some shit in your life, and to some degree we all have in our own way. But this to me is definitely saying that there's a call for healing yourself. There's a call for forgiveness. There's a call for delving deeper. And with all of these cards out on the table, I'm getting the sense of a need to delve deeper into oneself in order to heal the scars, in order to allow yourself to express who you really are on the outside, and to integrate the shadows that are an aspect of you that are laying dormant and hidden, perhaps a side of you that you are self-conscious about because you're afraid of what other people may think, or you're afraid of your own perspective on it. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, as long as you're not, going around and manipulating people or treating people badly, like, you have all right to pursue what it is in your heart that you feel called to pursue. So let's find out what this scars card says. Scars. If you draw this card, it is time to look at the scars life has dealt you in a new light. The supposedly darkest hours of your life have left the deepest marks. They draw out the divine light within you. One or more of your scars may certainly still cause pain, as some wounds heal slowly, but the Violet Dragon would like to teach you that there is a miraculous cure for your wounds and scars. This miracle power is a mixture of 70% forgiveness, 20% acceptance, and 10% devotion. This is the recipe for the elixir. And I did mention that there's going to be a need for forgiveness, to forgive yourself and to forgive others. And that's definitely something that is being stated here. Okay. So this is a ritual that you can do. You can pause it and read it. This is a little ritual that you can partake in if you feel the need to work through some scars that are still holding you back. So let's see. The shadow card is pretty long. If you draw this card, it is time to take a look at your shadows. The Dragon King Oisin is sending out the dragons so that we humans can remind ourselves that we are powerful beings. The black dragons are sent by the white dragon Queen Alba. They have the highest vibrations of love in their dragon hearts and are coming to transform your lower energies into higher frequencies. A black dragon has the ability to dive deep into the world of shadows, reaching areas that remain concealed from others. Many people fail to recognize their shadows for what they are, thereby allowing the dark side to manipulate them. I'll read that again. Many people fail to recognize their shadows for what they are, thereby allowing the dark side to manipulate them, to hold them in check, and to rob them of energy and enthusiasm. Let's name and shame a few of the shadows here: cigarettes, alcohol, too much sugar, a sense of fear, other addictive behaviors, playing the victim, spiritual arrogance, and so on. Now ask yourself the question: am I ready to confront my shadows? If the answer is yes, begin the shadow work described below. If not, put this card to one side, take it out of the deck, and only replace it when you are ready. So, if you would like to, starting here is this part of the ritual, something that you may consider the exercise that you may like to partake in. Perhaps this is something that you can use to help you if you have been feeling a deep need to work on some shadow work. Definitely, I feel very called to this card myself. Let me see here. I love the energy of this card. It's very intense though. Like, I always told myself, I always felt since childhood that if I were a dragon, I would be a black dragon with red eyes. And I don't know, the fire, the energy of the eye of this dragon. I'm in love with this card. So anyway, I digress. Love. The greatest power of being is love. It is magic, sorcery, the touch of God's breath that blesses and fulfills us in each and every moment. The divine source created dragons before the souls of humans, before Lady Gaia, even before the angels. The dragons bear the fire of pure, divine love within them. Look at the pink dragon on this card. Feel the truth in the depth of you. Hold the card close to your heart. Ask the divine source for blessing and for pure divine love. Feel how the magic of the dragon's deep love engulfs you like a rose-tinted light. As the pink dragon is awakened into life and plants a seed within you, a seed that will grow into unconditional divine love if you so wish. If you create something with divine love, you can make it eternal. Love is magic, and magic is love. When I tell you from the bottom of my heart that you are so beautiful, I have woven a spell about you. I have created something, a feeling or emotion that vibrates within you, and it is eternal. But this love wishes to be shared, so praise and say something wonderful to others. Through the power and love of the dragons, we will set off a chain reaction that will carry on endlessly around the world. Ultimately, all this love will culminate in the golden age, and you will have been its creator. Read this card several times. Allow its essence of its message to pervade the very depths of your being. It is very important. Okay, so definitely what this card is saying is there's a need to give and to receive love, to partake in love, to have an energy of love, to be in that love vibration. If you are inquiring about or have been asking about love, definitely there's this need to find love within yourself and to share that love in your surroundings and to allow yourself permission to receive love from others and the people around you who want to help you. Purple is a color of intuition. Purple is a color of, the third eye. It can be seen as like the crown chakra, pink, the heart, and higher chakras as well. So again, there's this deep need for healing, for inner healing, and to make peace with loving yourself and being good to yourself, being kind to yourself, being better with yourself. Let me see here. I feel like this deck wants to come out right now. The Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. Let's see. This is actually the first deck that I've ever owned. Interesting, we have Four of Pentacles and Death in reverse. Let me get one more, please. The Nine of Wands. And underneath the deck we have the Nine of Cups. So let's see here. The Wheel of Fortune upright. The Magician in reverse. The Four of Pentacles upright. The Death card in reverse. As well as the Nine of Wands upright. So right off the bat, what I'm getting here is this is kind of a continuation of the energy that has been within our arena of awareness. So it seems like there's something that you definitely want to progress in, something that you want to move forward about, something that you want the wheel of fortune to change for you. You want the wheel of fortune to change. You want a new beginning. We have the number 10. Number 10 is the end of a cycle. So this is you wanting to embrace the end of some cycle in your life. But we can see here that you're struggling a lot with inner aspects, like your inner shadows, with healing scars and wounds from your past, and it's leaving you feeling very unable. It's leaving you feeling unable to do what it is that you want to do, or to pursue what it is that you want to pursue, because we have the Magician here in reverse. So I do see that these aspects, your shadow side, whatever it is that is, you know, kind of lingering over you, watching over you, wanting you to pay attention to it because it is a part of who you are, but it is being blocked, denied, shamed, accused, ridiculed, however it is that you see this aspect of yourself. And only you will truly know what that aspect within you is. It could be something of a sexual nature. It could be something within, it could be any amount of things. It could be greed. It could be anything. The importance of doing shadow work is to face your shadow, to see your shadow eye to eye, eye to eye, with no one else but you and your shadow. When you are facing your shadow, it is scary, you know, but the thing that is important to remember is that we all have shadows, because we cannot be light without dark, you know, we cannot have light without dark. In the darkness, anything can be created. But I'm sorry, I kind of got off track. So what I'm seeing here again with the Magician in reverse is that you're feeling very disconnected from yourself, perhaps because you feel disconnected from your shadows. Now, when I'm saying to integrate your shadow, that doesn't mean to all of a sudden become some asshole who's going around and hurting people. That's not what I mean. What I mean to realize your shadow is to acknowledge its presence, acknowledge that it is there. It's like an elephant in the room. Out of all these cards, you know, there may be a card that is calling out to you the most. And I kind of feel like this card is really trying to speak up. I feel like this card is really trying to speak louder than some of the other cards. But we definitely have this card here that cannot be denied. It's like even in the shadows, you can see it lingering. That's because you are your shadow. You cannot escape your shadow. I mean, no matter how much light is around you, it's still going to cast a shadow from you. And if you are engulfed in darkness, you are in shadow. So you can never really truly run away from your shadow. It's important to face it and to acknowledge it, to accept and pinpoint what your shadow is. in order for you to learn how to integrate that shadow. So like, let's say you your shadow is something within sexuality or something. So like, let's say you are a very openly sexual kind of person, but it is your shadow that perhaps is a very sexually open. But in order for you to integrate your shadow, for example, it's not saying to go sleeping around with whoever. That's not what it's indicating. It's not what it's saying. It is to say for you to acknowledge that your shadow is something within sexuality, and how can you incorporate that shadow into your scope of awareness? How can you incorporate that shadow into your being, which it already is a part of you? But instead of laying dormant and being locked behind the cupboard or the closet, like locked behind the closet, it's for you to open it and to acknowledge it, accept it, and allow it to become a part of your life. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go around and have an open relationship. That doesn't mean that you have to have multiple partners. That doesn't mean anything like that. It just means, how are you going to integrate your shadow in a way that is healthy for you, to work through that shadow in a way that is healthy for you, to view your shadow as not as something to be ashamed of, but to view it as something as, how can it help you? Yeah, so that is a very personal thing. I cannot say what your shadow is because this is just a general reading. It is not a personal reading. If you would like a personal reading, then feel free to let me know and we can discuss about that. But definitely there's this sense you've been feeling kind of not yourself. You've been feeling very down. Your scars, your wounds have been kind of cracking back open. I feel like if the stitches came undone for something, a certain aspect of your past or something in your heart that is still very heavy, it's causing you to kind of be kind of selfish in a way. This could be with your energy. This could be like maybe you're just having lots of trust issues with people around you because maybe people say they love you and then they go around and do something. Or maybe people seem to accept you for who you are, and when you open up to them, they're just so like in their head, they just leave. Whatever the case is, I feel like there's this aspect of you that is holding on to something that is not serving you, that is not resonating with you anymore. In particular, especially because it is surrounded by the Magician in reverse and the Death card in reverse, which both cards to me are very positive, powerful cards. Both of these cards are very powerful in my eye. And for the Death card, it is a beautiful card because there cannot be a new beginning without an end to something. There must be an end to something in order for something new to begin. And that is the cycle of life. Excuse me. Science proves and states that, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. Here we have the Uroboros. And to me, this is what it is saying right now, is in order for you to transform, in order for you to accept this part of you, this side of you, you have to let the past die. You have to move away from the past. You have to move away from what hurts you. And it's very, very important. And I feel like if you have been called to watch this reading, there's something about your shadow that has a lot to do with your life purpose. And I know that's a lot to say. I know certain people might not like that. But I feel like for some of you watching this, your shadow, what you are the most afraid of, something that you are maybe the most, jealous over, or something that you are the most, there's a lot of difficult, negative, heavy, stale energy within that shadow. There's something that makes me feel like this shadow is important for you and for your development and for you to become who you really are. But you need to release what's holding you back. You need to release the fear or the judgment that you have towards this shadow of yours, because I feel like this shadow is really calling out to you, watching you. I mean, I know this might sound creepy, but watching you in the dark, waiting for you to accept it, acknowledge it, and let it become a part of you. And again, that does not mean to go around hurting people or to do stupid shit. It is not an excuse. That is not what I'm saying here. Everyone has their own shadows. So like, let's say if you're someone who is greedy, how can that help you, and how can you change it? So let's say you're really good at saving your money. So that's really good. And if you're thinking like, how can I incorporate better habits for me, then perhaps, you have the people that you love, why not take them out to a nice dinner? Or, you know, just because you have a shadow doesn't mean that you have to let it consume you, doesn't mean that you have to let it run your life. And that's the whole point here, is saying, don't let your shadow run your life in the shadows. Don't let it run your life in the light either. It needs to be incorporated because it is a side of you. It is an aspect of who you are that is important in this lifetime. So, like, let's say again, let's go back to greediness. Someone who's greedy, who has a lot, who has saved a lot, who is maybe pretty well off, just because they acknowledge, like, damn, okay, I have some greed, I acknowledge that I can be greedy sometimes, let me be more giving. All this money that I have been saving up, you know what, maybe I can give some of it. Maybe I could take my family out on a really nice day together, a really nice dinner and a movie, or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? Only you can know for your own situation, and these are just examples. So just because you acknowledge what your shadow is doesn't mean that either way you should not let your shadow run your life. The importance of what is going on here is to understand that your shadow is a part of you. Yin and yang. You cannot be the light without the dark. You cannot have one without the other necessarily, or you can, but then you're not going to have balance. The whole point is to find balance within who we are, to figure out who we are, to figure out how it is that we can express ourselves in the most authentic way, without causing harm to anyone or anything else around us. So again, there's a need to go within, to acknowledge your shadow, to accept your shadow, and to work with that shadow, to release what needs to be released, to work on that energy of out with the old, in with the new, and know that you are the magician. The only way to really have the wheel of fortune turn in your favor is to be real with yourself, to acknowledge what's going on in your life, and to work on that. The Nine of Wands, what that's telling me is, again, there's a lot of, I feel like you judge yourself very harshly for your shadow. And that's understandable. I think we all do to some degree, until we're able to incorporate our shadow into our life. Again, incorporating it into our life does not mean to allow it to run our life. Does not mean for us to go on a fucking rampage or something. That's not what it means. It just means for you to understand yourself in a deeper context. In order for you to become your greatest version, you need to know who you are. You need to know what is it that you're trying to build for yourself. And so on. If you want to fix something in order to improve upon it, you have to know the inner workings of it. So let's say you have a car and you want to fix your car, you want to make it look nice, but you don't want to take it to a dealership or you don't want to take it to someone else. Cool. You buy the parts that you need, but you're going to have to know how to take the car apart, to change the parts, to do all of that. You have to understand that for yourself. So let's say the car is you and you're trying to incorporate something new into your life. You want to change out an old part. You have to know how to get to the root of whatever it is that you're changing. You have to take out all the screws. You have to take out things like one step at a time, and you have to replace them one step at a time. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of work, but by the end result, you have something that is new and beautiful. Something that is an extension of who you are, but something that expresses who you are more authentically because it is something newer to you, something that you decided to incorporate. And I hope I'm making sense without going off into a tangent. But with the Nine of Wands, is telling me again that you're feeling very, very guarded and very burdened. And I could definitely see that here with this woman here. You're very guarded, and you just want an emotional abundance. You want emotional stability, and you don't want to be fearful of that. Like, there's something that you need to walk away from, the Eight of Cups, but that you're not walking away from. But look, we have the Sun right underneath. This is the most happiest card of the deck, so they say, you know. But then we have the Four of Cups. It's like there's this beautiful energy that's surrounded by some pessimism. It's like optimism, pessimism, optimism, pessimism, like the Lovers in reverse, and then all these things. And you see, there's a need to balance your energy better, so that way you are bringing into your life what it is that you truly want, and not just focusing on what it is that you're trying to block out of your life. There's a need to face yourself, to be real with yourself, to be authentic with yourself, and to be honest. To realize what it is that you're hiding from yourself, that you already know that lies dormant, that is there watching you. It knows that you know because it is a part of you, and you cannot escape yourself. We each and every single living person has shadow side. Doesn't fucking matter who they are. The Pope, the president, a king, a queen, the richest, the poorest. It doesn't fucking matter. We all have it. Like, there's no escaping it. It's there. And we need to learn to work with it in a healthy way in order for us to progress and to move forward, to heal from those scars, to allow love into our life, and to share love with other people, and to not be afraid of who we and to not be afraid of who we really are, to not be afraid of what we are here to do, because our life is to understand ourselves better and to learn to fall into who we are and to share that with the world. I think that is important. And I think that is a big part of life, is to live through that and to experience that. I'm sorry. So let's see what else comes out. So definitely shadow work, inner self. Like, don't be afraid. Don't be in denial. Like, closure and travel. Okay, so both of these cards are about walking away from something. This card always gives me the vibes of the Six of Swords, but seeing that Eight of Cups in reverse, it also does give me Eight of Cups energy. So there's something that needs to be let go of. You need to close the chapter for one thing in order for something new to come. And let's see. To close one chapter if you want another one to begin. You cannot have an end without, you cannot have a new beginning without an end to something. You know, if you want to spend your time doing your hobbies, but you spend too much time watching TV or playing video games, then you're not going to have time to do your hobbies, for example. So if you want to do your hobbies, you're going to have to let go of certain things that are holding up your time so that you can focus that time on something else. You know, and if your hobbies are something else, you know, it goes for anything. It goes either way. Whatever your hobbies are, whatever it is that you're spending time on, that you can spend it in other ways or healthier ways. Let's see. Truth. You have the truth within you. You have that mirror, so you can see exactly who you are, but you're choosing not to. Or you're trying to get into trusting that more and falling into that, and again trying to traverse within yourself. Animals, so there may be spirit guides that are animals, perhaps dragons. Perhaps this is also saying it's time for you to face your inner beast. I know that maybe to some people might sound funny, but really it truly is a feat that takes a lot of courage, because staring your own beast, staring yourself in the eyes, like staring that beast part of you in the eyes, is scary, you know, and that's why so many people never do it, because it takes a lot of hard work. And a lot of people think like, oh, I'm this terrible, disgusting human being because I have these thoughts that pop up, like we all do. It's nothing to be ashamed of or fearful of, as long as you are doing the best that you can do, and that you're not hurting anyone else or anyone around you, you know? But there was the willpower card underneath the deck, and so that card would tell me, you know, again, there's that need for balance, that you need to understand that you have free will, and what you do with it is your own responsibility, and that is on you 100%. It's on no one else but you. But it's important to find that balance within ourselves. Let me get one more card. Please. Oh. Friendship. So perhaps you have been feeling quite lonely, and if you have, you know, the very last tarot reading that I did was look, there's happiness, and underneath we have courage. So the very last tarot reading that I did, I think I had something along the lines of you know, not being happy, or, you know, a lot of energy around you kind of holding you back that you may be feeling, and it's important for you to release that, to figure out what it is that makes you happy in order for you to focus more on that and not God damn, I feel like this card is following us. Self-explanatory. It's time to release negativity. Here's this Scorpio card. So we have release negativity and we have closure. We have travel, which is about moving forward and moving away from certain scenarios or situations. So let's see. Don't let pride get in your way with this Leo card. You and your loved ones are safe with this Cancer card. So Scorpio is also the energy of death. So the death card, death, renewal, rebirth. So definitely there is a lot of energy with that death energy. A lot of things that need to be released in order for the truth to be left, how can I say? Allow the shit to be released in order for the truth to be what is left standing. Allow the truth to be victorious and move away from anything else that is not within that truth. So let's see what these are, and then I'll put them back in. Take time to breathe out. So if you feel you should do yoga, meditation, definitely would recommend. Look at the bigger picture. So wherever it is that you're aiming your energy towards, whatever it is that you're trying to create for yourself, look at it from a bigger perspective and know that it is possible for you to reach that, but you have to go through certain things. Emotions are running high, so perhaps this time is difficult for you to move forward because you have not been able to face yourself. A time to give rather than to take. So it kind of goes to that message that I was saying of that example of greediness. So if you feel like, if that's your personal situation, we all have some shit, so I'm not throwing shade at you or anything. We all have something within ourselves that we need to work on, and that's just a part of who we are. That's a part of the human experience, is that we're not perfect, and our whole point of life is to do what we can in the best way that we can to become the greatest version that we can. That's what I believe. So it's saying to give rather than to take. If it's time for you to face yourself and to challenge your own perspectives, then do it. Hold your vision. Know that whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, that it's coming towards you, you just need to move away from what is holding you back. And we do see, to reiterate, scars, past trauma, feeling not good enough, perhaps something to do with love. You need to love yourself and others around you, and you need to face your inner self. A fiery climax approaches, so definitely there's this energy that you're nearing the end. So I feel like the more that you go within yourself and the more that you face your shadow, the easier it is. However, sometimes we are triggered more than other days, and so it's understandable if we have some hard times. But that doesn't mean that we should give up, and that doesn't mean that we should allow other people to tell us how we should be, or that doesn't mean that we should force ourselves not to be who we really are because we're afraid of our true image. There's nothing more powerful than a person who knows themselves, who accepts themselves, who loves themselves, and who works with themselves, you know? There's nothing stronger than that in my personal point of view, because when we really know who we are and we don't let anyone change us, you know, in a good way, where we're not going around raping and murdering people, then we are free to be who we are. As long as you're not hurting other people, then why does it matter? And so there's this need for you to realize this within yourself and within other people. And that is the beautiful thing when we learn to love ourselves and when we learn to be more accepting of our shadow side in a positive way, not in a way to where it ruins our life, but in a way where we are able to have control over it. That is a good thing. The more you know about yourself, the more you know about other people and understand other people, because then you're not in denial with who you really are. It'll be easier for you to accept and understand other people as well. So I think I'll leave this reading here. I just looked up, I saw 5111, so 111. Know that it is important for you to delve into your shadows. And I feel like that is the biggest message here. This energy is so intense. I could stare at this card for hours. There's a lot that still needs healing. And you deserve happiness. You deserve to have that healing. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to progress and move forward, to move away from the shadows that lurk behind you. How can I say it? Because they are you, in a way. Instead of trying to run away from it, like if it's this external beast, to understand that you are the beast. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like we all are. We all are beasts. It is all in our nature. And is just, we are capable of controlling our own minds. We shouldn't allow other people to control our mind, but we have control over our own mind and what we say and how we react and what we do. And so everything that is an extension of us, what we say, what we do, who we are, we need to take responsibility for that, and we need to treat others how we want to be treated. We need to face our shadow, and when we face our shadow, it's easier for us to understand other people as well. But I think I'm pretty much saying the same thing, so I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it brought you clarity, some peace, some hope, some perspective, and just know that you're not alone on your journey. I'm here, and I support you, and I love you guys. I hope that you... I wish you the best in traversing through yourself, because I know what that feels like, and it's not easy. So yeah, we can do it. We can do it. I believe in you, and I wish you all the very best. I would love to know if this reading has helped you, brought you clarity, some perspective, or anything like that. I hope that you'll consider joining this little soul family that we have going on. And I'm always so very grateful to each and every single one of you for taking the time to watch these readings. So, wish you all the very best. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. I love you guys. Bye.